What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Doug McCain here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. And welcome to another episode of Designated Twitter. And on today's episode, we're asking the question, what are the 3 things the Dodgers need to do this offseason? And I want your takes down below. Let me know what are your 3 things you want to see the Dodgers do this offseason. Let me know down below in the comments section. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. And if you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. What are 3 things you want to see the Dodgers do this offseason? I asked the staff here that question, and here were some of their takes.
3, that's 1, 2, 3. 3 things these Dodgers need to do in the offseason. They need to figure out the starting pitching for 2023. There's some guys that are out there. Are they going to bring back some of the guys they had? Kershaw, Tyler Anderson. Are you going to add more to the rotation? Jacob deGrom? Don't go deGrom. Number 2, they got to rebuild the left side of the infield. Both the Turners probably gone right now. If you are going to bring one back or both back, is that the best way to go? If you're in the spirit of changing something for the sake of changing something. Yeah, they won 111 games. You got bounced in 4 in the postseason. Give me some sort of change there potentially. So they got to figure out the left side. And number 3, give me a rah-rah guy in the clubhouse. We need spirit. We need somebody who's going to be angry, somebody who's going to throw shit at a wall. Give me something different than the boring work-a-day, go-home 9-to-5 Dodgers that we saw in 2022.
3, quick and easy. I'm going re-sign Clayton Kershaw, Tyler Anderson. That's 1. Find a frontline starter. We need another starting pitcher in that rotation. And number 3, I'm going to go find a big bat. We need to see some slug. We need to see some more dingers here at Dodger Stadium.
I'd say first is they got to figure out the starting pitching, whether that's re-signing someone like Tyler Anderson, obviously seeing what Clayton Kershaw wants to do, and then maybe making some sort of splash on the free agent market. I don't know if it's going to be deGrom, but definitely some high-end starter. Number 2 is figure out the outfield, whether that's re-signing Cody Bellinger, whether that's maybe making a trade. Obviously, Aaron Judge's name has been thrown around. I don't think he's going to be the one, but definitely figuring out that outfield because they can't go opening day next year, Mookie, Bellinger, CT3. That's just not going to work. And then number 3 is the shortstop position. I don't think Trey Turner's coming back, and my big thing I think they need to do is go sign Carlos Correa.
So those were some of their takes, but here were some of your fired takes over on Twitter. Cliff tweeted out, fire Dave Roberts ×3. Then we got C_Rack who tweeted pitching. Then Tim Rogers 2080, friend of Dodgers Nation. His are 1 signed Kirsch, 2 signed Tyler Anderson, 3 signed Dansby Samsonite. Yeah, Dansby Swanson, an elite defender, a guy that would come cheaper than a Carlos Correa or a Xander Bogaerts. A very interesting name. And then Adrian tweeted, clear cap space, sign an elite pitcher, and get either Trey or another shortstop. And then we got Chris who tweeted Kershaw, Anderson, and Rodon. And then we've got Lakers Blake 2 who tweeted re-sign Trey, go get Carlos Rodon, trade for Ohtani. Man, that would be freaking insane. And then LA Frogers, okay, I get it, you're in pain. That's how I deal with pain too, but you call him the LA Frogers. He tweeted change the culture whatever it takes. And then we've got Gerard Moncure from Fox 11. He tweeted, change the offensive philosophy and approach, or we're just asking for more of the same in the postseason. Yeah, I think there definitely is something to that. If you rewatch some of the games, there was a lot of quick at-bats. There was a lot of big swings in situations where you just needed to make contact. And I think situational hitting definitely needs to be addressed, but also game planning as well. I mean, you saw they were pitching the Dodgers backwards during that series, and the Dodgers, they really struggled with some high velocity at times, even the breaking ball at times, and they just were out of sync and out of rhythm at the plate. So I think the philosophy definitely needs to be tinkered with, and I think that these players as a whole need to just be in a better position to be ready to go in the postseason, whatever that takes, in their own personal drills that they run. Because I see a lot of people out there fire the hitting coaches and this and that. All these guys, if you go on the field before the game, they have their own drills they're doing, their own process, their own technique. So to me, I definitely think there is an approach issue to it. But yeah, bottom line is they just didn't get it done. 5 for 34 with runners in scoring position. They stranded a small village out there, and they get 1 or 2 more big base hits, and there's a chance they're still playing today. But it comes down to offensive execution. And then we've got Cesar M, who said sign DeGrom, Swanson, and Edwin Diaz. So we talked Swanson and Edwin Diaz. Jacob DeGrom is going to be very interesting because the reality with Jacob DeGrom is when he's healthy, he's the best pitcher on the planet. But that's the question. How do you keep him healthy? How does he avoid injury? Can his body keep up with that level of strain that it requires? So yeah, I think under the right circumstances, I'd be willing to sign Jacob DeGrom to a contract. And I think the good thing too is you've seen some of these contracts in recent years for these ace level starters, the Kevin Gosmans, the Robbie Rays, the Zach Wheelers. You're not seeing these $200 million deals, these $300 million deals. Save for Garrett Cole, a lot of these starting pitchers, they're getting these $100 to $125 million contracts. And I think with Jacob DeGrom, if you can keep the years to a minimum and you got a high AAV, I think it's interesting. But hey, if you can win you a World Series or 2 in the near future, I think it's worth it. And then for our Dodgers Nation designated Twitter tweet of the week, this comes from Nick, who tweeted 1, an upgrade to the starting rotation, 2, a new hitting philosophy, and 3, organizational training on the Heimlich maneuver for the next time they choke. So yeah, that's some pain right there. But hey, man, what more can you say? The Dodgers just did not get it done. And yeah, I agree with most of everyone's takes. I mean, these are all ways you can improve this team and give them a better shot to avoid the collapse that was the 2022 postseason. But to me, it starts right at the top with starting pitching. The Dodgers definitely need to add another ace level starter, in my opinion, because look, let's not forget, right now, Clayton Kershaw and Tyler Anderson, they're not on the Dodgers right now. And Julio Urias, I think he's a great pitcher. I think he's most definitely a strong number 2 on a World Series winning team. But is he that number 1 guy? I think if you pair him with another ace level pitcher, then I say, okay, this team has enough to get it in the postseason. You want to definitely explore signing the Jacob DeGroms, the Carlos Rodons. Let's not forget last season at the deadline, they explored trading for Pablo Lopez. Shane Bieber is a name that could be available. But hey, you just look at this current World Series team, Zach Wheeler, Austin Nola, they got 2 horses that are fronting that rotation, and I think the Dodgers absolutely have to add an ace. And I don't want to hear about Bobby Miller or Gavin Stone or Dustin May or Walker Buehler is going to be back for the postseason. Look, Walker Buehler had his surgery late, and maybe he could return, but you just can't rely on that. You can't bank on Buehler for a postseason run. You just can't do that. I mean, just look what happened with Dustin May. So I absolutely would go for that ace, and Shohei Ohtani would be my number 1. If I could have anyone, it would be Shohei Ohtani. Then we got 2, outfield production. You need to have some more outfield production. We saw in the postseason just not enough slug, not enough hitting, and just bottom line, across the board, they just weren't getting it done. So I definitely want to see some more pop in the outfield and just address and solidify those position groups. If they do non-tender Cody Bellinger, if they move off of him, then what do? Do you have a rotating cast of characters in center field, or do you go out there and make the big move for Aaron Judge? I still think it's unlikely. I think it's going to be a bidding war between the Giants and the Yankees, but this is the Dodgers we're talking about, and they're always in it with all these big name superstars. But hey, let's not forget, there's other names out there. I mean, the Dodgers were involved in trade talks with Ian Happ of the Chicago Cubs. He still has 1 more year left heading into next season. Brian Reynolds is a name out there that I've been very high on for years. He has multiple years of club control left. Cedric Mullins of the Baltimore Orioles. So it's not just the free agents. There also is trades out there, and the Dodgers, they have a lot of trade pieces that will be attractive to organizations all around the league. So definitely some outfield production. Would love to have Aaron Judge, but even if it's not, there are other names out there. The Nemos of the world, Brandon Nemo, AJ Pollock. A lot of you guys want to see Pollock back. So definitely add some outfield pop. And then 3, I would say my biggest one too is just reevaluate game planning and the use of analytics. And look, I always say is baseball is played with heart and not a hard drive. And I think you want to use analytics. You want to use it whenever you can. And you absolutely have to include it as a part of your strategy. But also when you see a guy out there dealing, when you see Tyler Anderson doing his thing, allowing just 2 hits, you want to leave him on the mound for an inning or 2. Same thing what we saw with Rich Hill earlier in his Dodgers stint. We saw it in 2018 and 2017. And in 2019, it was anti-analytics. So I want to get a strategy for this Dodger team that Friedman's comfortable with, that Dave Roberts is comfortable with, where you say, hey, you got to trust your gut certain times, because you guys understand that pitchers aren't the same every time out there on the mound. And I think the Dodgers would benefit from that. And I think that it's too rigid of a plan. There's too much work that's put into the regular season just to say, oh, a pitcher can't face the order a 3rd time around, because the more times you give Dave Roberts to make a decision, he will push that wrong button. I think you have to put some trust in your starting pitchers. And I think when it comes to analytics as a whole, there's no doubt in my mind the Dodgers have left World Series titles on the table with their misuse and overuse of analytics. But let me know down below in the comment section, what are 3 things you want to see the Dodgers do this offseason? Let me know down below. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you really want to support the channel and you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.